I got involved with Brave Books, which, by the way, is a Texas-based book publishing company who publishes books for little kids that have pro-God, pro-America values.
Hmm.
And I got involved with them. When I heard about what they were doing, I wanted to be a part of it. And so I started writing some books together with them, teaching kids about the fruit of the Spirit, like
Hmm.
love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, self-control. And I
Hmm.
wanted to read them in some public libraries because drag queens were holding story hours for kids. So I thought, well, surely they would be happy to have someone come in and read these books of virtue to kids. And they said no. They
Hmm.
said, we don't want your messaging. And so I pushed back and ended up going to these libraries anyway, and were greeted by thousands and thousands of parents and grandparents who said, thank you for coming. We don't want this other garbage. We want the good stuff for our
Hmm.
kids. And that turned into more libraries and eventually a national event called See You at the Library.
Hmm.
It's a spin on See You at the Pole. And with See You at the Library, we pray and sing and we read books of virtue at public libraries. And we give parents and grandparents an opportunity to take their values into the public square and change the narrative about what's important for our kids. So getting off the defense, getting on the offense. And now this year, we have our biggest ever event. We're going to be in 50 states, over 500 libraries, and 50,000 people participating, all spearheaded by parents and grandparents.
What caused you to feel strongly about the issue of children's literature to begin with?
Well, whoever writes the stories gets to determine the values that children believe. If
Hmm.
you teach children that socialism is a good idea, they'll grow up loving it. If you feed your kids junk food their whole life, they'll grow up developing a taste for it. And then it's difficult to change that later when they're older. And that's
Hmm.
why everybody wants to get to children and write their books and be the authors of their curriculum. The good guys understand, if they know how the world works, that you've got to teach the children. That's why we have things like Deuteronomy chapter 6 in the Bible. Teach these things diligently to your children when they rise up in the morning, when they sit down, when they walk along the street, when they go to sleep at night. And the bad guys know the same thing.
Could you tell me more about the first book that you wrote and then what getting rejected by the libraries was initially like?
The first book was called As You Grow, and it is a story about a little acorn that grows up into a great big giant tree. And that tree becomes the center of life for all the little animals in the forest and provides so much good for everybody. And the story really teaches about love and compassion, kindness, gentleness, teamwork, family, God's love and care for us. And when I wanted to read a book that was so controversial about love and goodness and kindness and was rejected by these libraries, it really exposed the dark secret. And that is that they hate God. They really hate God's idea of the family, and they're trying to silence or get rid of you. Well, I understood that that was not the sentiments of millions and millions of Americans, that we know what we want for our kids, but many are just scared to stand up to the bullies. And so I did with some help from some friends, and we turned that rejection into a revival. And it's just growing and growing like a wildfire.
That's awesome. So you mentioned the singing and the reading. Could you tell me a little bit more about what a See You at the Library event entails, like what each library experiences?
Well, it's a time to get together with people in your community who think like you think and value what you value. And it's very encouraging to know that you're not alone. There are so many people probably on your street all around who are just maybe afraid to talk, but they come there. And while you may have a couple of protesters here and there, which is just an opportunity, they're not the enemy, they're the opportunity for you to share why your ideas are really producing the best good for the most amount of people. But when you get there, you're going to be part of singing and praying. People are going to be gathering to read stories of character and virtue to kids. And this really is the best kind of education, community, grassroots, reading stories, combining it with thanking God, singing songs that celebrate the values that you love most. This is what small towns and big cities should be all about.
Yeah, so kind of going off of that, you've created a bunch of resources for parents to give to their children.
Yeah.
What advice would you have for those kids specifically, like for the next generation?
Well, I've tried to be a part of books and TV shows that take all the advice that I have and put them into stories that kids will love. And right now I'm helping to shape the values and the thoughts of my granddaughter. And so we're going to be reading her brave books and we're going to be singing her songs and praying and teaching her to be thankful and joyful and to pray. So these are the things that I would suggest any young person does. Learn about God, read his word, spend lots of time in nature, read books, play instruments, go on adventures. Understand that God is there, and if you follow his ways, it leads to blessing. If you choose to sin, I get it, but you choose to suffer. If you obey God and you trust him, he always keeps his promises and he will lead you to blessing.
Hmm. Another question that I have is, since I'm a college student, what advice would you have for college students who are kind of in between that phase of being a kid and then having kids of their own?
I would say take on as much responsibility as you can and then take on a little bit more. It's really good for you. Get in over your head with
Mhm.
good projects. And you know, I don't know you, but I bet your parents are really proud of you, not only for going to college, but taking on this project and the fact that you're interviewing me and others to put out good things into the world. And I think that's great. And look to get married and have kids. If the Lord has that for you, it is such a blessing, and it's the greatest course in learning how to live and love like Jesus. Start a family. It's the hardest thing you'll ever do. It'll bring you to your knees and make you pray. And in order for it to work, you have to learn how to love and forgive. You have to learn how to do hard things and make decisions and work together. These are all the things that are synonymous with Christian living. And so it sounds like you're on the right path. So keep going.
Thank you. I appreciate that. My last question is for you is just how can the general community get involved with the CU as a with the CU at the library movement coming up this year?
The best way to get involved is go to the website, cuatthelibrary.com. If you go there, you'll see a big map, and then you can click into your county and your state and find the library close to you, and then go. On August 16th, there's going to be tens of thousands of people. The news is going to be there.
Mhm.
And if you don't see a library near you, you could drive to one close by, or you could even adopt your library and you could be the host and you could start an event and we'll show you how to do it. There's a whole instruction kit right there and we'll send you books and flyers to get the word out and everything. But again, we want to have over 500 libraries all signed up on August 16th. We've already got over 100 and we want to break last year's record of 360 and make it all the way to 500. Go to cuatthelibrary.com.
Awesome. Well, I hope that y'all are able to reach your goal. This is an incredible movement, and I really appreciated your time and the opportunity to get to speak with you about this.
Thank you so much. Keep up the great work.
Yeah, thank you. Have a great rest of your day.